Welcome to our office. Our full edition takes you from La Rochelle to Marseille, visiting Turkey along the way. On the agenda, Student Yachting World Cup in La Rochelle, the Virtual Regattas Prologue, Marmaris Cup in Turkey, and the Vendée Globe skippers. But first, the CEMAX Trophy assembles some of the best Mediterranean IRC team in Marseille.
As the Mistral builds in Marseille, the crews timidly go about preparing their boats for racing, whilst waiting for the last briefing. Claude Borla, the president of the race committee, decides to cancel racing for the Longtsi class, but maintains the two-race program for the IRC boats. The decision is made based on the riskiness for some, sailability with caution for others, and great for the more experienced crews. And the results, of course, will play a big part for the overall season. Only 17 boats leave the pontoon to make their way to the start line. Right from the moment the fleet leaves the shelter of the port, the tone is set. Very rough seas of at least 2 meters in height, with freezing winds gusting to over 55 knots at times. But all are pleased to have been able to race in the extreme conditions.
Dublin's University in Ireland wins the 32nd Student Yachting World Cup in La Rochelle.
La Rochelle welcomes more than 130 students from the biggest universities of 12 different countries. Since it was established in 1979, an association of students from the École Polytechnique organise the event to perfection every year. This unique international event is a magnificent opportunity for students from all over the world to make contacts that they will keep forever. Each national representative team is the issue of domestic intervarsity qualification series. Being a student championship, the social activities are as one would expect, colourful and animated. However, the weather plays havoc with the sports programme, but the varied programme of racing is almost complete. Straight away, Canada, Ireland and Euromed move into the front seats. The night race is the highlight of the event and exhausts the crews. The coastal race around Fort Boyard sews up the overall standings. After 13 races sailed in a magnificent setting, the Irish triumph ahead of the Canadians and the Italians.
In October, 33,000 players participate in the virtual Vendée Globe's Prologue, an event mastered by Jacques-Yves at the helm of Cofreno.
The winner amongst the real skippers is Marc Guillemot, the skipper of Safran, who shares with us the pleasure he had in winning and the thoughts of the race. Even if it's completely virtual, it gives a lot of fun to a lot of people. It's fun for all that take part, people from my team and everyone at Safran. It's just a small stone in a large building, but it's a large building and there's a huge amount of work to go all the way to the end of our objectives. Knowing that there are 3 or 4 or 500,000 virtual skippers playing on their computers and racing, it's really magical. It gives a new meaning to the race. As an expert, Marc shares with us a little advice on how best to tackle the virtual Vendée Globe. Don't get too wrapped up in it, and don't change course dramatically in the morning without taking the time to think about and reflect on the implications. In my opinion, it's probably easier for 2 or 3 people to share the same boat.
Fantastic moments and glorious racing conditions during 5 days in Marmaris, Turkey.
The 23rd edition of this International Week takes place in the touristic environment of the Gulf. More than 140 boats enter to sail in this event that has top-level and fun competitors. The still warm conditions at the end of the season make the sailing agreeable. With 8 different classes racing, there is something for everyone. The presence of a large number of charter boats allows people of all ages and abilities to get involved in the excitement of racing. The after-sailing activities each day take place in a festive environment through the night. The racing takes place in varied conditions, allowing all types of skill sets to come to the fore. There are some incredible sailing moments to watch, especially the colourful finishes. The Russian yacht Courrier du Coeur easily wins by winning every race in IRC, just as the German boat La Loba does in Charter 1.
On November 10 at 1:02 p.m, 20 sailors will leave Les Sables d'Olonne in their quest to climb the Everest of sailing, the Vendée Globe. Having fallen to the sport at a very young age, Armel Lecléache discovered the joy of sailing in an optimist. His dreams of offshore racing grew and the young man developed a strong character. On board Britair, he finished his first Vendée Globe thanks to really hard work and a highly methodical approach. His nickname, the Jackal, fits his profile well. He never stops trying and finally finishes second. With Banque Populaire, he has a 60-footer of the latest generation. His ambition is to do better than last time. At 29, François Gabard is following his chosen career path with a strong and rigorous approach, tackling each race with a youthful enthusiasm. Originally from the Charente region, at the age of 7, his family heads off to sea for a sabbatical year. This was a turning point for François. In 2008, he wins the rookie division in the Figaro class. The following year, he wins the French solo offshore championship title. François talked himself down as far as his Vendée ambitions are concerned, but with his talent, he's definitely amongst the favorites.
Nicknamed King Jean, he is one of the pillars of the Valley of Madmen in Port-la-Forêt. A multiple champion, his eloquent list of wins has been collected over more than 30 years. He is one of the rare 3-time winners of the Figaro race, and this year he is starting the Vendée Globe for the 3rd time. His Highness is therefore leaving his dungeon in the Valley of Madmen and will check out the vastness of his estate when he goes back to sea. Often using intelligent shortcuts, Bertrand de Brock is showing the way in an original manner in offshore racing. Twice before, he has had significant meeting with misadventure. Twice he has come out relatively unscathed. In 1992, he was smacked hard by the boom of his boat and ended up having to stitch his tongue back together. He started again in 1996 by destiny again intervening when he lost the keel of his boat just 2 days from the finish line. This year, he has a nice boat and his talent is still intact. His little sister was never able to pronounce his name Christophe. She called him Quito, and it has stuck for life. His taste for racing develops from the age of 17 when his parents moved to Port Camargue. In 2002, this talented Men's sailor won the Figaro race and crept out of the shadows. Since 2007, Quito de Pavon and his smiling cow have sailed 100,000 miles, or 4 times around the planet.
Rendezvous next week, same time, same place. Until then, goodbye and fair sailing.